Okay, so we're going to do multiplying fractions and whole numbers. We're going to look at one problem, 9 times a half. The first one we're going to do visually. So the way I want to do this the first time visually, I'm going to set up a box. And I'm going to call this whole thing 9. The whole thing is 9. Now, I'm going to go ahead and split that into its whole parts, 9 wholes. So that's a little hard, but I'll split it into thirds first, and then split those into thirds. Thirds times thirds equals 9, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are the wholes. 9 wholes. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and split those into halves. I'm going for how many halves would that be? So that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just fill in 1/2 of each hole. 1/2 of each hole. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 1/2 times 9, or 9 times 1/2. How many halves is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they were each halves. So this should be 9 halves, or 9/2. Now, if I wanted to convert that to a mixed number, I very easily could. That would be how many times does 2 fit into 9? Fits in 4 whole times with 1 left over. So that's 4 and 1/2. Either one of these would be acceptable answers, either 9 halves or 4 and 1/2. Okay. Now, the next visual model is again a box. The problem I'm still doing is still 9 times a half. That is the same exact problem. This is still 9. Now, 9 times a half could also be thought of as splitting 9 in half. So I'm going to go ahead and split that in half. What did I just do? I just did 9 divided by 2. Okay, so this is 9 divided by 2. This is 9 divided by 2, which is, well, 9 divided by 2. 9 divided by 2. It's 9 halves. Each of these halves is equal to 9 halves, or 4 and 1/2. Those would both be acceptable answers. Okay, so that's another way of showing it visually. I know it's going to drive you crazy, but a third way of showing it visually would be to do 9 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 9 wholes, and then split those in half. I'm going to take one of them from each hole. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 halves, which is still 4.5. Both of those are still acceptable answers. So this was option A, option B, option C. They all do the same thing in the end, but it's a matter of which way works best for your brain. Okay. Now, the way that I think most people will solve it is not visually. It's doing the algorithm, which is 9 times a half. What I would highly recommend doing, folks, is making 9 times 1/2 into 9/1 times a half. Because 9 wholes is like saying 9/1. Every whole number is like itself over 1. Then I can just multiply across like we learned last week. 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2. Still 9 halves, which is still 4.5. Those are both equally good answers.